It's a well-known fact that the time, energy, and quality resources you put into your home will be reflected in its value. Protecting that investment begins by choosing the proper installation materials, such as Bostik's MVP4 Moisture Vapor Protection, before the installation of your wood flooring.
This video was developed to help you understand the common application techniques of Bostik's MVP and to answer many of the questions that you may have. We'll be presenting this information in 3 sections.
We'll talk about how to inspect and prepare the subfloor. We'll give you some step-by-step guidelines for the actual installation of MVP4, and we'll take a quick look at the installation of the flooring itself. The moisture levels in wood have a tendency to fluctuate. Wood flooring moisture levels are affected by many surrounding job site conditions, such as relative humidity, temperature, airflow, construction materials, sidewalls, and concrete subfloors, to name just a few.
An increase or decrease of the moisture levels within your wood flooring can result in dimensional changes to its original factory milled shape. These dimensional changes may lead to unsightly flooring issues, such as cupping, gapping, end lifting, and warping.
Bostik's MVP4 has been formulated to reduce the rate of moisture vapor transmission originating from the subfloor, create a noise reduction barrier over the substrate, establish an anti-fracture membrane that can bridge cracks up to 1/8 of an inch, and MVP4 contains Bostik's Blockade antimicrobial protection to inhibit the growth of bacteria, mold, and mildew.
When used over concrete, MVP's anti-fracture membrane ability can be extremely beneficial to the constant dimensional changes in a slab caused by shrinkage, movement, temperature, and/or moisture. These changes may lead to unknown random cracks or fissures in the substrate surface well after the flooring is installed.
MVP4 will bridge gaps up to 1/8 of an inch beneath solid and engineered wood flooring when installed below, on, or above grade, according to the directions.
To ensure the future success of your wood flooring installation, it's critical to conduct a thorough inspection of the job site. And prior to your installation, make sure you follow industry standards, as well as the wood flooring manufacturer's recommendations regarding acclimating the wood in the finished constructed building, understanding proper layout and design, and test methods, including temperature and relative humidity. Since a subfloor's moisture composition will fluctuate constantly throughout its life, it's best to be on the safe side and install MVP on all hardwood flooring installations. We recommend that this be done regardless of whether the results of the wood flooring manufacturer's recommended moisture tests are within or exceed their acceptable limit during the installation. Here's the reason why.
A subfloor moisture test performed today, which produces an acceptable reading prior to your flooring being installed, isn't a guarantee that your wood flooring won't be affected by future moisture vapor transmission. But with the proper use of MVP4 per the product datasheet, you'll have a warranty for protection. For example, a week after our homeowners installed their new wood floor, the automated lawn sprinkler system was completed. What they didn't anticipate was that the sprinkler system was not able to drain properly, and there would be a dramatic increase in the subfloor moisture content down the road. No moisture test would have been able to predict or warn of this future set of circumstances.
Another situation could arise where a subfloor moisture test may produce high readings, which were a result of new construction over a green slab that didn't have enough time to cure, improperly positioned drain spouts, or a heavy rain from a recent storm. The bottom line is moisture tests are limited, since they can only give you results for a specific point in time in a specific spot, but can't predict what the actual results will be in the future and ultimately can't guarantee a dry slab. And so, you must ask yourself,
are you willing to take these risks with your wood floor installation? Do the increasing deadlines for faster and faster finished construction over green slabs have you worried? You can eliminate the what-if scenario and protect your wood flooring from future moisture damage by using Bostik's MVP4 system.
Whether the moisture content of your substrate exceeds or is within the wood flooring manufacturer's recommendations, you can address current and possible future subfloor moisture concerns by applying a layer of MVP according to directions and allow the material to cure for a minimum of 12 hours.
Not only will MVP4 address moisture concerns during and after your hardwood installation, MVP4 will also create a noise reduction barrier over the subfloor to repel ambient sound which might emanate from areas above the substrate. Such noise is effectively diminished when MVP4 is applied according to the directions. As mentioned, MVP4 will establish an anti-fracture membrane to bridge cracks up to 1/8 inch and will inhibit the growth of bacteria, mold, or mildew over the dried membrane. These 4 features of MVP4 all add up to additional protection, which will help maintain the beauty and integrity of your wood floor for the life of the installation. To ensure a quality MVP4 installation, you will need a dry, clean, dust-free flat substrate with no sealers or bond breakers present. To accomplish this, you must first inspect for standing water, condensation, or wetness on the surface of the subfloor prior to the installation of MVP4. Here is one very simple suggestion to help you identify condensation or wetness on the surface of the subfloor. Place a dry piece of newspaper over the area in question. Walk on the newspaper, then lift it up and inspect it. If the newspaper is moist or wet, then MVP4 should not be used, and you'll have to assess a potentially serious moisture concern with the homeowner or related contracting parties before the installation of any floor covering. Next, test the subfloor for the presence of any sealers or coatings. Additional bond breakers such as dust, dirt, and old adhesives must be identified and removed accordingly. Curing compounds or concrete sealers, as well as contaminants such as oil, grease, dirt, and paint, will all interfere with the bond of MVP4. Some concrete sealers dry to a clear finish and are very difficult to visually detect. It's your responsibility to identify and remove all bond breakers, including sealers and curing compounds, prior to the installation of MVP4. Here's one simple method used to test for concrete sealers. Pour a few droplets of water onto the surface throughout the job site. If the water is absorbed into the surface, you'll know that it's free from any sealers. However, if the water beads up and doesn't soak into the concrete, chances are that the surface has been sealed, and you'll have to remove that sealer before you can install MVP4's protective layer. Most sealers and curing compounds can be removed mechanically using a sanding machine. However, some bond breakers or sealers will require more aggressive techniques, such as titanium-plated discs or sandblasting. Be sure to understand the type of contaminant you're dealing with, and choose a removal method that is best suited for your situation.
After you've gone over the substrate and are satisfied that the surface is no longer coated by a sealer, you'll need to sweep and vacuum the entire area completely to ensure that it's free from any dust or dirt that's been created in the process. This step is one of the most critical, and here's the reason why. The trowel recommended by Bostik for proper installation of MVP is a 3/16 by 5/32 inch V-notch trowel.
Any debris, dust, or dirt on the slab that is bigger than the size of the trowel's notch will clog the opening and create gouge marks as the product is applied, since the debris won't flow through the notch smoothly.
A clean and well-swept floor that has been vacuumed completely will help prevent installation problems and ensure an easy, quality application of Bostik's MVP.
Check your subfloor to ensure that it meets the necessary recommendations for a flat surface. The maximum acceptable floor variation for MVP4 is 3/16 of an inch in 10 feet. To achieve this, flatten the surface by using a Bostik underlayment product such as Fastpatch 102 or SL150 to bring the floor into compliance before the installation of MVP4.
Installation of Bostik's MVP is quick, easy, and extremely user-friendly. MVP is a one-part product created with breakthrough technology to dramatically reduce the rate of moisture vapor transmission from a subfloor. With its superior elastomeric characteristics, it will bridge cracks up to 1/8 of an inch that occur in the substrate after installation, whether the crack is a designed crack, such as a control joint, or uncontrolled cracking. The integrity of MVP is assured, as it acts like an anti-fracture membrane throughout the life of the floor.
Applying MVP4 is as simple as opening the pail and troweling the product. Bostik recommends the use of a 3/16 by 5/32 inch V-notch trowel to achieve a flat membrane that is uniformly 30 mils thick, a protective layer similar to the thickness of a credit card. MVP4 is designed to level and heal with little need for flat troweling to achieve a continuous membrane. Wood flooring can be installed over MVP4 with Bostik's Best, Bostik BST Urethane, Bostik EFA, or Bostik's TKO. MVP4 is designed to be used over all substrates common to wood flooring installations, including concrete, plywood, particle or underlayment grade chipboard, well-bonded vinyl, ceramic tile, cement backer board, cement patch underlayment, radiant heat flooring, or terrazzo. However, MVP4 is not recommended for use over vinyl VCT when installing solid wood flooring, nor is it recommended over gypsum-based products due to their innate limitations for moisture. As you apply the MVP4, you can expect to cover approximately 40 square feet per gallon when using the proper trowel. Continue your application of MVP4 until your entire substrate has been covered. The membrane will cure within 12 to 16 hours, depending upon the temperature and humidity level at your job site. The higher the temperature and humidity, the faster the cure. Once cured, you can move to the installation of your wood flooring. In typical wood flooring installations, the first row of flooring is installed against the longest interior wall. To determine the starting point, see the wood flooring manufacturer's recommendations for required expansion space. In our installation, we measured out from the starter row to a point equal with a multiple of the board width and snapped a line. This is the first section on which we'll spread the adhesive. The recommended adhesive to use should be chosen from Bostik's family of urethane wood flooring adhesives. Bostik manufactures a variety of moisture-cured urethane adhesives specifically designed for the installation of both solid and engineered wood flooring. Occasionally, you may find that a thin skin has formed over the top of the product when you open the pail. This is a normal occurrence and is due to the inherent nature of moisture-cured urethane adhesives. To remove this skin, simply cut around the inside of the pail with a razor knife, then peel off and discard the cured adhesive. All of the non-cured fluid adhesive can be put to immediate use. Bostik adhesives apply in much the same manner as MVP4 by tipping the bucket slightly until the adhesive begins to pour. Again, you can use the flat end of the trowel to cut the adhesive and stop the flow. The amount of adhesive transfer required by Bostik may vary depending on whether you're using a solid or engineered wood flooring product and the thickness of the wood. You'll help to ensure that the right amount of adhesive is applied by occasionally lifting a board to check the amount of adhesive that is transferred to the wood. Bostik requires an 80% transfer for engineered hardwood and 95% for solids. Once you've covered your first section of subfloor, begin laying the wood into the wet adhesive. The adhesive will, at certain times, get on top of the floorboards, so you should be prepared to clean up as you install. If you let the adhesive cure, it'll be very difficult to remove and could damage the coating on pre-finished flooring. To properly remove Bostik wood flooring urethane adhesive while it's still wet, use Bostik's Ultimate Adhesive Remover, or to a lesser quality and more time-consuming extent, odorless mineral spirits.
There should be expansion spaces along the perimeter of your installation which are equal to the thickness of the board. This goes for all wood flooring installations regardless of whether it's solid or engineered wood, unless otherwise noted by the wood floor manufacturer.
Make sure that the tongue is facing toward the wall, away from the installation. The width of the expansion